Ladies and gentlemen, you have stumbled into Kagekaze's domain. Here I'm doing playthrough and analysis for Diablo 3 in patch 13. Today we're going to have quite a bit to talk about actually. Some Diablo 3 news that's come through via Diablo fans. One of the first is that an Italian site of MMORPGItalia.it has supposedly reported a release date for Diablo 3 of April 17th. Now, you'll want to take this with a grain of salt, and I wouldn't even mention it normally because these release dates are normally just speculation on the parts of anyone trying to get pre-orders for the game. However, the site is supposedly not a retail site, which makes that interesting first and foremost. And the second is that game designer Jay Wilson from Blizzard was unable to confirm or deny this date. Now, that's interesting in the fact that usually when we're given a date like that, they can usually debunk it right away. Now, again, you'll want to take this with a grain of salt, as this is not necessarily a sign of release, as most people might tell you. It could be, though, that they are working on getting a date together, and it hasn't been finalized yet.
Prophecy sent me in search of the star that fell on this land.
So it could be they don't want to comment on it in case that does end up being true. It's just enough time, gives us about a month before the game's released, so we'll have to see. The next news is that we have gotten a little bit of update from the devs that there may be another patch for the beta, patch 14, in which they are teasing us with the fact that monsters may do double damage. This is a change that I'm looking forward to. Now, I've said over and over again that this is normal mode, this is easy, and we should anticipate things getting harder later on, and that's still true. But just because it is easy doesn't mean I wouldn't, just because I understand why it's easy doesn't mean I wouldn't like to see it get harder. I'm just not going to piss and moan because I know it's going to get harder down the line. So let's go ahead and get some of my experience gear here. Let's do the weaker weapons so I don't kill too quickly. Wizard with a club. That still amuses me. Alright, well, another sign of release, however, is that apparently if you got the annual pass for World of Warcraft, then you were greeted with something on your dashboard if you signed into Battle.net that thanked you for purchasing the game, and that you'll be notified when you'll be able to download the game. Now keep in mind, when they allow you to download, they will allow you to download early in order to let you play on day one. So this is great news. That alone is a great sign. It means we'll probably be getting a release date soon. Trademark. Okay, I'm going to repair some of my gear because this hand-me-down gear has been taking damage as I go. 300 gold! Good, now that's a lot of money. Alright. Well, now that I'm done with the news, let's go ahead and go over the skills since I've already unlocked the first ability. Alright, Magic Missile, which of course I have to go and put on my advanced tooltips. Let me just do that now. Okay. Magic Missile actually has not changed from the last patch. Launch a missile of magic energy causing 110% damage as Arcane. That is a signature spell, meaning it costs absolutely no arcane power. Completely free to cast. Great for weaving in and out of other spells so that you can get your resources back. Alright, Arcane Orb is the next ability we get. And this is actually kind of a nice change. They gave us Nova before. They didn't give us Arcane Orb for just a couple levels. Let's just see if there's been any changes to Arcane Orb. Yes, Arcane Orb has actually been buffed. It is one of our stronger skills and does a decent AoE. So you're hurling an orb of pure energy that explodes when it hits, dealing 250% weapon damage as Arcane to all enemies within 10 yards. This has been buffed by 11%. It went up from 225% weapon damage to 250. So a nice change there. I'm just going to make sure there was nothing else. Nope, that is that. One thing that has changed, though, according to the official patch notes, and I'll just go ahead and move on while I talk about this. The Arcane Power resource has been modified. And apparently I didn't talk to Leah. So I'm going to go back and talk to her. The Arcane Power resource has been modified. It used to give 12.5 Arcane Power per second. But in this patch, I'll scroll down here, you can see it only gives 10 per second now. So our resource generation has been nerfed by about 20%.
I will thank you.
So what that means down the road, I really couldn't tell you. As resource generation felt fairly high before, honestly. I could sit there and, as long as I put a brief pause between casts, I could keep putting out arcane orbs pretty quickly.
What can I do, Dad? Thanks for the
I imagine that this was made so that you're going to have to worry about using signature spells more. And there's your arcane orb. So what I noticed before was I could pretty much put out arcane orbs at a pretty constant rate. I could put out 3 or 4, and now I can put out 3, and then I have to wait for arcane power. Before, I could probably put out about 4 with the regeneration rate what it was. And this could be why they decided to buff arcane orbs, since they reduced our resource generation. Because, to be quite honest with you, I didn't really think that arcane orb needed that much, or needed a buff at all, honestly. But hey, there we go. We got it. I'm not going to complain. So I have to really thank the guys at Diablo Fans for putting out all this wonderful information, even on this release date rumor here, because you know most people would probably just ignore it, and in this case a lot of people really still are. But it's nice to see what's unique about it, and the fact that it hasn't been debunked just yet, as well as the fact that it wasn't by a retailer trying to sell pre-orders, which we have seen sites like, I believe it was Best Buy, tried to put a release date on Diablo 3 before anything had been announced. And Blizzard has always said that we will know at the same time as retailers. So who knows? Someone might have leaked a little bit of information. Put this on. I've got a nice headdress there, although I think I like her better without it. Oh well, I don't have any clear dye, so I'm just going to end up using it. And I can't dual wield, so I'll use that later. Just don't want to kill too quickly, like I said. I want to try and get a feel for the power curve as I level. So I did level up again, and I got a new signature spell. I've got Shock Pulse this time, which has been buffed as well. Weapon damage increased from 90% to 105. So it's 3 pulses of unpredictable, or 3 unpredictable charges of electricity that deal 105 weapon damage as lightning. So that's 105 per pulse, not split up as far as I know. We'll have to look into that. Okay, Shock Pulse. Let's go ahead and try her out. This is a skill that I honestly don't really care for, and it's the same reason as the reason I don't care for Plague of Toads. Shock Pulse is very unpredictable. Now, the thing that Shock Pulse has over Plague of Toads of the Witch Doctor is that it's quicker. I can sit there, I can fire it out, and as you can see, it's goes to its destination a lot faster. Although Plague of Toads has a slightly longer range, the toads move so slow. It's really hard to hit anything with them. So there is more, to me, there's a little more potential with this spell. I'll go ahead and use it for a little bit. I might end up just going back to Magic Missile. As you see, I couldn't even hit this zombie because of the way it split off. I'm eagerly anticipating release. I honestly hope to find out that the 17th is turns out to be true. But I'm, again, not going to really hold my breath on that one. The last time we heard from one of the Blizzard CMs is they said they would usually give us about a 2-month warning, so that is way too soon for that. Although, because they did try a release date and miss it, they might not be concerned about giving us that much warning. And, you know, honestly, a month's warning is pretty decent. But of course, we have to anticipate another beta patch, so we don't know when we're going to get that. It seems like they're going to give us one, because they mentioned patch 14, and they did, and they're playing around with it right now about the double monster damage. Blizzard is internally playing with that build.
While exploring a cave with hopes of finding hidden treasure.
Huh, I've never seen this spawn over here in the corner before. It's usually on the main road. Well, that's nice. So a little bit of the random system there for me. The more I play, the more I really do want this game.
Put an end to the attacks, at least for now.
Oh, I do not want your gray. Arcane Orb is really one of my favorite spells for this class right now. It's simple, you know, it fires in a nice straight line, it does AoE damage, it has high damage on it, it's 250 weapon damage, which that makes it one of the few AoE abilities to do massive damage like that.
The fiends didn't take it, did they?
Of course, it does cost 1/3 of our arcane power bar.
Old Tristram. Diablo himself once walked this place. Power.
Yeah, I can't get her with Chuck Bolts. There we go. Doesn't look like we're going to have a dungeon in Tristram here.
If my old masters could see me now. I don't have enough arcane power.
There we go, already getting our next slot. Frost Nova. Alright, now Frost Nova has been changed in the way it works. We'll pull this up. 12-second cooldown, which I'm pretty sure has not been changed. I'll double check that. But in the meantime, what you'll notice is it doesn't do any weapon damage anymore. It used to do 50%, I believe. Had it written down. Yeah, 50% weapon damage is what it used to do. So this is in line with all of the other snares that they're giving us. That anything the utility is either losing some of its damage outright or just, you know, getting it reduced. So in this case, Frost Nova being something that can snare enemies for 3 seconds, and again, much like Flash of Light for the monk, it does not break on damage. So it looks like what they want to do is make something like this, which is very useful utility-wise, not be overpowered by doing damage as well.
I can no longer deny.
Alright, let's go ahead and get out of here.
thank you for your help.
Nor should she. I will help her find him. Come, let us search for your uncle.
We'll need to open the cathedral first.
Can you move this thing? I need to get by.
How dare you speak to me like that?
Why are you trying to leave?
Are you mad? This town is...
I am not in the habit of helping cowards.
I'd have to say I like the wizard, the male wizard's voice a little more on that one. He has just that certain level of arrogance that I like. Now here's something I'm going to kind of show real fast that I found out about, thanks again to Diablo fans.
This is my room. Do you like it?
So she responds to being in a room. Also, you can notice Leah's book is available again. Some people have noticed that you can get journals 1 and 3 here. When you have her in your party, you can actually get part 2. I didn't even know about part 3, to be honest. I never came back in here after the first time. But apparently later, even after you've killed the Skeleton King, you can come back and part 3 will drop. But you need to be in this time frame, so it's something that you can miss in order to get part 2. So and I'm going to go ahead and let that play as well. Also, her text there, if this is my room, do you like it? Apparently she will not be happy if the male characters decide to come in here. I will have to look into that, though.
A miracle has happened. A hero, like one out of Uncle Deckard's tales, appeared and saved us. I know in my heart that my uncle still lives, and I pray that the hero will bring him home safely. Here, let me open the gate. Adria was my mother, but I don't know much about her. She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard.
What about your father?
I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the demons.
Alright, I decided to go back to Magic Missile. I cast a missile at the darkness!
Look! A hidden cellar! Follow me!
Alright, helps if I click in the right spot.
Mother than you know.
People said she was a witch, but I never believed it. Captain Dalton!
Stay put.
I don't have enough arcane power.
I should have held off on that one. Oh well.
Here's the key.
I will search the cathedral.
Thank you.
Aiden came to me last night. I suspected what was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever he's headed, hell will surely follow in his wake. The shadows close in on Tristram once again. But like Aiden, I'll be gone before they fall.
So if they do give us a patch 14 and these monsters hit harder, I will definitely get some recording of that so you guys can take a look at it and see how the difficulty feels. Keep in mind that they haven't talked about increasing the AI of normal, which, you know, would make sense. Some of these zombies, as you see here, they take a while before they actually attack. Sometimes they come right up to you and then just stop. They're not very bright. They'll probably get much more aggressive in higher difficulties, but as of right now, they are the cannon fodder of easy mode.
The fallen star is somewhere inside.
The double damage thing will probably not really start affecting the way people play until closer to the Skeleton King, when you start having actively aggressive packs.
Its crater is tinged with some strange magic.
And I've got my first orb. I'll go ahead and put that on. And it's got experience on it. I do like that, the glass orbs. Just very subtle. One thing that's also nice is we can craft a rare book for the wizard now as an offhand, which I believe we either couldn't craft before or it was too high of a level to use. And now I do believe the rare book is like level 8. Alright, new active skill. This one is Ray of Frost. This is actually new to the beta. So let me go ahead and pull that up. It's a secondary. Ray of Frost, 20 arcane power. Project a beam of frozen ice that blasts 200% weapon damage as cold to the first enemy it hits, slowing the target's movement by 30% and attack speed by 20% for 3 seconds. So this is a great kind of utility meant for single target. If you've watched my other videos, or if you've seen others regarding the wizard in patch 10 through 12, you'll know about Disintegrate. This is essentially a single target version of Disintegrate. And what Disintegrate is, it's the exact same thing as Ray of Frost, which I'll show off here. It's a beam attack. Ray of Frost, as you can see, just fires straight out. Ray of Frost will stop at the first target and just continue to do damage. The best ability to liken this to is Rapid Fire of the Demon Hunter, except for this has a nice slowing component. Not just of their movement speed, so they can't get close, but their attack speed. So when they are on top of you, they won't hit you as hard. Alright, the difference between this and Disintegrate is that Disintegrate is more of an AoE ability, because, you know, just in case you're wondering, why would you have two Ray abilities, why would you want to choose one over the other? Disintegrate, I believe, does Arcane. I'm pretty sure it doesn't do physical. But Disintegrate will also pierce enemies. You fire it in a line, and you will hit every single enemy in that line. Ray of Frost actually does more weapon damage per second than Disintegrate does, in order to reinforce that. So, Disintegrate, AoE, Ray of Frost, single target. Now if you want to compare to, say, Arcane Orb here, and I can go ahead and do that real quick once I get past some of these monsters. So we'll look real quick here. You've got 200% weapon damage. Let's compare the damage to arcane power. If you're looking at efficiency, the arcane power costs the damage. So if you're, you know, doing 200 over 20 arcane power per second, you're basically doing about 10 damage per arcane power, or 10% weapon damage per arcane power, compared to, not magic missile, but compared to arcane orb, where if you take that 250 over the 35 arcane power, you're only doing about 7% weapon damage per arcane power. So Arcane Orb is a little less efficient. However, massive AoE on Arcane Orb. So it's one of those things where I would probably like just to have both, simply because then I have a single target ability in Ray of Frost, and then Arcane Orb, I can just spam a bunch of those out during a big group. Arcane Orb is really one of those spells I prefer. When Disintegrate was available in the beta, I switched to that one because I like the concept of it. And I could just kind of put it in a line and just mow down a whole bunch of enemies by properly placing myself. Alright, nothing over here. So we'll play around with Ray of Frost. It's kind of nice to see. It's unfortunately it is a skill that, while new, is not jaw-dropping or anything like that, since it is very much like Disintegrate, which is an ability that we got to play around with for a while. Okay, where are we? Looks like we're going in a loop. I wonder if I can break barrels with Nova still, even though it doesn't have weapon damage. Let me find a group of them.
I don't have enough arcane
As
power.
you can see there, I can put that beam for quite a while here while fighting a group. And since it slows them down, the monsters will start to run into each other when they're frozen. Okay, the lack of weapon damage means that you cannot break barrels with Frost Nova. I had a feeling that would be the case, but it's nice to know. It means if I want to destroy a group of barrels, I better get Arcane Orb again.
My name is Danan, and I'm cursed. Once the captain of King LEORIC'S army, I lived only to honor my land and my king. No man has a greater love for his king than I had for mine, even as I drove my blade through his dark and corrupted heart.
So apparently my Ray of Frost wanted to go over that table instead of destroying it. So I had to throw an Arcane Missile at it. Magic Missile. Whichever. Suppose Magic Missile has more geek cred behind it than Arcane Missile. I like how the grotesques explode and destroy any monsters around them. Now, one thing that has changed here in this beta is we don't have access to a lot of the defensive abilities that we used to. Well, specifically the armors. I'm going to go through here. Conjuration is the level that you start getting armor. So ice armor, which we got before, is not here. I believe we got storm armor at one point, but we won't be getting either one of those. Any armor spells. These are all in the Conjuration tab, which, as you can see, is level 14, so one level beyond what we can get. So we'll be getting more active abilities than defensive, although we will get diamond skin still. Awfully barren over here. No. Oh, here we go. Monsters. Yeah, there's monsters over here. There didn't used to be any monsters over here, at least not that I've seen before in the previous patches. Maybe I just never saw them, of course. Oh, I wish I had Arcane Orb. I could shoot them down from up here. Suppose I could still pew pew. I'm firing my laser! Nothing like shooting a couple Arcane Orbs down, though, and watching them all explode.
Save you!
Stay back.
That's right. Stay a while and chill.
I am stronger still.
Thank
You live. Fortune smiles on you, old man. I'm here to bring you back to Leah.
it is.
Alright, level 6, and we have got our first rune. Huzzah!
Fear the worst. I learned of this secret passage through old
Magic
maps.
Missile has has Charge Blast as its first rune, which increases the damage of Magic Missile to 143% weapon damage as Arcane. So, just a straight up buff in power. Let me see. I do believe that it has slightly changed. Of course, again, keep in mind that any changes to the runes are probably because they are averaging out the rune power since they don't have ranks anymore. Let's see. This one is Charge Blast. No, apparently this one hasn't changed. Charge Blast is not listed on the notes from Diablo fans, so nope, no difference there. Alright then, let's go ahead and put it on.
We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to Tristram.
Let's see. Just kind of seeing what kind of power increase it is. Looks like that's a 30% increase to magic missiles damage now that I can show it to you. As you can see there, it's got kind of a nice glow to it now. It's like a golden glow and a little more sparkly.
Uncle,
Thanks to you.
our time is